everyone, and welcome along to another edition of the Celtic View Christmas Edition podcast, where we dive into some of the great interviews and features in this year's Celtic View Christmas Edition, which is still able to purchase in the club store, and there's less than 2 weeks to go until Christmas, so you're running out of time to get it in time for the big day. I'm Ryan Martin. Today I'm joined by our very own Daylin Docherty. Daylin, how are you? You well?
Yeah, good, Ryan. Thanks for having me here in the wonderful Celtic TV studio.
You're very welcome.
Celtic part in the backdrop, you can't beat it.
I know, it's always that. You always still gets me every time we come up to do it, so it's a great place to sit and do this episode. Now, before we get into things, we've got a lot of great stuff to go through today. We've got an exclusive interview with Jackie McNamara. We've got all the build up to the cup final as well. But we're recording this with the draw for the UEFA Conference League just taking place. We've been drawn against Bodo Glimt of Norway. What do you make of it? What's your initial reaction?
Listen, it's going to be a very, very tough game for Ange Postecoglou's boys. Obviously, they were Norwegian champions yesterday, I believe, so they're going to be in the Champions League next year. They've inflicted Jose Mourinho's worst ever defeat in European competition, maybe even his managerial career. So they will be very, very tough. Probably the positives are they're going to be at the kind of start of their season, so a chance to get at them. But no, so it'll be a good tie. But I don't think they'll be overawed by coming here after the experience against Roma. So it will be a good one, and hopefully big chance to progress.
Yeah, so Bodo Glimt, they were in the Conference League group stages. They played Roma, as you were mentioning. They beat them 6-1 in Norway. They then drew with Roma as well at Stadio Olimpico. So it's one of these sides, I think it's their first ever season in Europe, so we don't know much about them, but looking at their pedigree, they've got big results, so it probably will be a tough test, won't it?
Yeah, listen, I mean, again, it was a very, very tough group they were in. I think CSK Sofia was in there, which is tough to go to Bulgaria. And Roma as well. I mean, we know all too well about winning in the Olimpico. They drew 2 each in the Olimpico, so
we've done one better.
Yeah, we've done one better, and it was against Lazio. But we've got the pedigree European competition wise, so we would hope to get past them. But listen, European competition, anything can happen. But it's exciting competition after Christmas as well. So sure, it'll be a packed paradise, we hope, for that game, and cheer the boys on to get through, Ryan.
Yeah, and as you say, so those games are coming up in February, so that's something nice to look forward to. I want to kind of look back in the last week, but it's a nice little segue. It's something that happened over the weekend, from one Norwegian team to one Norwegian manager. Yeah. Our former gaffer here at Celtic, Ronny Deila, winning the MLS with New York City, and I don't know if you see it. Did you manage to see celebrations?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I remember Gary Lineker done something in his pants, but Ronny Deila, lifting a trophy in his pants is terrific. I think we can all speak for everybody here at Celtic. He's very well thought of, so I think we were all delighted. I think even the scenes when they win it, when he's crying, it's emotional. You're quite happy for him. So delighted, and wish him and the gang at New York City all the success. I've got their wee star on their top now, so best of luck. They deserve it.
Yeah, and back for everyone at Celtic, I mean, congratulations to Ronny Deila. And then looking back in the week that we've had as well, I mean, the games have just been coming around so thick and fast this Christmas period. Another 2 games in the last week. Beat Real Betis here on Thursday night. We beat Motherwell here on Sunday. Another good week for the club. How do you look back on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Real Betis game, it was a much changed side, so it was a chance for the younger guys to come in. It was, I've seen a lot of fans were saying online, it was one of those games where you sit back and truly enjoy the entertaining nature of this Celtic team. Stephen Welsh, he was like a leader at the back. He gets the goal here down in the corner. He was excellent. The game was brilliant to watch. And I thought, guys like Uragide, William Shaw, they really stood up and played against a top quality opposition that had just come off beating Barcelona in the Nou Camp. So, they were a decent side, albeit they made a few changes themselves. But I thought we were excellent against Real Betis. We were a much changed side, and it was a fully deserved 3 points, and end up with 9 points and not getting out of groups. Unlucky.
I know, it's difficult, isn't it? Yeah, how many times have we done that in the past?
No, I remember, when I was a young boy, we played in the Champions League, and we we got 9 points in the group with Juventus, Porto and Rosenborg. I mean, it was 4-3 game against Juventus here. There was that kind of bittersweet moment where you win the game but you don't quite qualify, and it kind of reminded me of that, getting 9 points and still not being able to get through the group. But it's you could say it's typical Celtic, but it's at the same time, in that kind of group, they done really well to get 9 points.
It was such a hard group when you look back at it. I mean, Betis are flying at the moment. Bayer Leverkusen, probably one of the strongest teams in Germany. Ferencváros, top of the league in Hungary as well. So I think to get 9 points, as you say, is really impressive. And then looking at the game on Sunday against Motherwell, I mean, probably wasn't the cleanest of performances, but we managed to get the win. And I think at this time, at the Christmas period, when there's so many games, that's just the most important thing, isn't it? That you get the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, I think historically December is such a tough month with fixtures. So to get the 3 points, I think we take 1-0s right up until the winter break, to be honest, because ultimately it's just about winning. These games come thick and fast. We've got Ross County up next, and you're just thinking, just get the 3 points. That's all that matters. And Motherwell was much the same yesterday, but I mean, credit to, you can see in the moment where Rogic scores a goal, the captain, Callum McGregor's almost relaying that information to David Turnbull to work that routine, and it was an excellent goal, Ryan. Yeah,
it was brilliant. And we've got another big week to look forward to as well, so we're going to get into all of that in a little bit. But first of all, we've got our first exclusive interview, which is taken from this year's magazine. And Paul Cuddy sat down and spoke with Jackie McNamara with his new book that's come out, which is also available in the club store. So let's get to that interview now.
Jackie, your book, his name is McNamara, has just come out. There's been a positive reaction. I've read it myself, really enjoyed it. What was the motivation behind you deciding to write the book?
I think a number of things, Paul. I think obviously what happened to us last year. There's bits there like coming to terms with that, and I've had a lot of messages with different people with some of their families had the same kind of injury, and I think just coming to terms with that, and when you've had a brain injury, it's quite difficult to know what to do when you get home. How to recover and what your emotions are like. It's a slow process. But I've been asked a number of times over the years to do an autobiography, and I didn't think it was right to do one while I was still involved. Either playing or managing, and I wanted to put things across throughout my career and life. And obviously people have a perception of you and they think they know you because they've seen you playing football or standing at the side of the pitch. But I think my book is more, I think it's everything. It covers everything in life rather than just on the football field.
Yeah, because one of the good things I think that people will find when they read it is, obviously it's telling the story of your career and, as you say, your life, but each chapter starts with, kind of almost takes you right up to date from the day that you took ill, and that kind of horrendous journey and getting to the end of that and coming out of that. I think that works really well because it's almost there's an element of drama, but it kind of brings home to, when I was reading it, brings home to me and other readers just how serious that illness was.
Yeah, I think personally, because I think people just thought, he survived the original, aneurysm when I collapsed. But there was the next bit, when I had to get the operation to put the platinum coils in, which went wrong and put us in a coma. At that point, was more life-threatening than what I experienced in that. And I was quite intrigued to listen to other people's stories, and when you have a near-death experience, and it's quite. I wouldn't say frightening, but it's more for me. It was more reassuring when you start looking at things and things you take for granted. 46-year-old. I think I was more fitter than most people. I've had a lot of operations and injuries in my career. With broken legs and cruciates, but I've never had anything like this to deal with. A brain injury.
Yeah, and I suppose, as you say, that when anything like that happens to someone, that does put things into perspective and makes you, I suppose, appreciate everything just every day you get up, you know, it maybe it's just simple things, but just kind of there's a thanks there that you're there to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think things you take for granted, you know, as I said, when I came out, the Coleman was recovering, you know, and eventually coming out of the hospital bed and learning to walk up and down the stairs, things like that. And then, you know, doing little memory tests. I couldn't remember hardly anything, you know, 10 seconds before the occupational therapist doing things and doing words away and trying to get the brain working again. And it is amazing how it can recover, you know, the first number of months, I would struggle to remember 10 minutes before, you know, what was going on.
Yeah. And because one of the things that strikes me in the book, that idea, and it's always a Tommy Burns thing about family, faith and football. And that to me, that kind of central. Obviously, that your family is absolutely central, always has been growing up, and then obviously married with your own kids. Football's been absolutely part of your life. And then kind of the faith part is something that's now important to you as well. And there's a really nice bit in the book where you talk about you and your daughter both being baptised and converting to Catholicism the same day, which I thought was really quite moving.
Yeah, it's something, you know, obviously over the years, it's you have your own thoughts and what you're there, but I think what I experienced and what I'd seen, you know, when I was ill, and I think the people that was praying for me and everything else at the time, you know, it was like life changing. You know, for me, it's such a unique experience what happened to me, and I do, you know, going over the years and, you know, with Tommy and everything else, and being at the club and seeing everything else. But I think, you know, personally, what I experienced last year, and when my daughter was obviously at the bedside, and, you know, she was wanted to get baptised as well. The two as we sort of converted. I always was very spiritual, but we were never brought up, you know, in religion. It was kind of left to our own devices, what we thought and what we wanted to do, and, you know, and I just, you know, felt that I go to church down here every Sunday, and a couple of Celtic fans down here that moved down here in the 60s are very nice, and no, I enjoy it. I think it's, you know, about faith, and I think it's important to have that.
There we go, that was Jackie McNamara there, and as I said, his book is available in the club shop, which is something you can get your hands onto for this Christmas as well. I mean, Jackie, he was a player I used to love watching when I was first growing up, and for everything that he's been through in the last year, I know you spoke to him as well quite recently.
Yeah, you know, when he was at Celtic Park doing a kind of launch of His Name is McNamara, I spoke to him, and you know, he couldn't be a nicer guy. I know he was here doing the game yesterday. So all the best of luck to him in his book. It's a great story. He is, you know, a former captain here as well. And when I spoke to him, he spoke about how, you know, in the last year and his health issues, that kind of gave him the impetus to write this book. And his life's a great story, and it's one I imagine for most Celtic fans is a good stocking filler this Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's great just to hear somebody open up and be so honest about everything that they've been through as well. So thank you very much to Jackie McNamara for taking the time to speak to us there. Now just to look ahead to the week that we've got, we'll always have the cup final at the weekend, but before that we've got the small matter of a trip up to Dingwall, which is never easy. I know you're going up there, Daylin.
Yes, Ryan, you might say it's a small matter, but that drive is definitely a long matter. But however, no, looking forward to it. You know, they're a good club with Ross County, so it'll be good to go up there, and hopefully, you know, Celtic can come away with the 3 points. As you say, you know, we've got the cup final 6 days away. It's on Sunday, and you know, I think we can speak for every Celtic fan. We're just focusing on Wednesday at the minute to get those 3 points, and then we can start to think about Hibs and Sunday in the cup final. But December it's a mammoth month, you know, and you have to just get through all the games. And the last time we went up there, I think we lost 1-0 in February, so very, very, very tough, you know. So hopefully get up there, get 3 points, no injuries as well, and get back down the road.
I know, and if Ange and the boys are listening, it's my birthday the next day, so if they want to give me a birthday present, then 3 points. So 3 points will do quite nicely for that. And then, as we said, looking ahead, you've got the cup final at the weekend as well. I mean, again, that's something to get excited about. How important do you think it is for the team to hopefully get some cup success quite early on in the season?
Listen, I think it will do Ange and the boys the world of good winning a trophy. We know winning trophies is a staple of this football club. I always find the League Cup to be an incredibly important competition in the grand scheme of the season. It's a momentum builder. If you can win that, it can kick you on for the league and the other cup competition. So and it's a great day as well. The fans love it. You know, I've been here nearly 5 years at the club now, and whenever we've won the League Cup, it's always been amazing, and it has propelled us on to bigger successes. So, you know, obviously best of luck to the boys. I'm sure they'll be focused on it, and Hibs as well. They're in a tough spot right now. As in time of recording, they don't have a manager. But you can see how damaging they could be in their semi-final. So they are definitely, players like Nisbet and Boyle, they've got real threats there. So I'm sure Celtic will be very much aware how big a game this is.
It's difficult when a team have parted ways with their manager. When you don't know it, is that going to galvanise Hibs? Is that going to set them back even more? You really don't know going into that game, do you?
No, I think obviously you would have had a plan around Jack Ross being there. That's probably now going to change. I think David Gray's taking the team. He's no stranger to a Hampden success himself. So it'll be tough. I look back in the quadruple treble years. I don't think we faced Hibs in a cup final. I think the last time might have been 2013. I think we've faced them in the semi-finals a few times, but they will be tough. Battle of the Greens, so it will be memorable, hopefully, at Hampden. But I think for Ange Postecoglou, if he can get his first trophy as Celtic manager, just a few months into the job, it will be an amazing day, hopefully, for him and the boys.
I know, and I think when you look back at the summer as well, Ange coming into the club, so many players coming in as well, I think a lot of people may be slightly surprised that we've managed to have the success that we've had to date, and if you can get a cup win so early on as well, that's only going to do you the world of good.
Absolutely. I think the manager said that this club's all about winning, and he really wants to deliver trophies. I think he even said you wouldn't get 3 years to do that, so he knows what winning trophies means to Celtic fans, the club. So I'm sure he'll be working hard this week after Ross County. Of course, we don't want to look too far ahead, but I'm sure he'll be looking to get that win, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that they do.
Yeah, so we've got Ross County away on Wednesday night, and then we've got the cup final on the Sunday as well. So another big week for the club, but I'm feeling good about it. So fingers crossed. I know. Now, Daylin, every week we always have a fan discussion point. So we ask fans to send in the responses to a question that we put to them, and then read out the best ones on here. So last week I'd asked fans to send in if they could travel back in time for one match in Celtic history that they had no recollection of, what would it be? So before I read out some of their answers, I was thinking, what would you have said?
Well, listen, I think the obvious one will be Lisbon, right, in 25th of May 1967. I'd be amazed if nobody's said that. I'm pretty sure they have. Yeah. But for me, I was born in January 92, so I'm going to just coming up to 30 years old. And for generations just before me, they say that the staple of their Celtic memories is probably 1988, the Scottish Cup final against Dundee United. I think even the scenes at Hampden, Tommy Byrne saying they're there and they're always there, and God bless every single one of them. It looks like a very, very warm day as well. I think it was like baking hot, and Celtic won it with 2 goals through Frank McAvenny at the end. I think that looks like one that stands out to me. One that if I had to take Lisbon out of it, that would probably be the one I would go for.
Yeah, obviously that was in the centenary year as well, which is so special. So I mean, I'll read out some of your responses. Thank you so much for sending them in. And as you rightfully said, we had a lot of people saying Lisbon, which I mean, I think if you're to really sort of narrow it down, I mean, it's the greatest night in the club's history. So probably is the right answer if you're picking one. So yeah, we had lots of people. We had Willie, we had Sean McLaughlin, Danny Thompson, another Danny as well, all saying that European Cup win. But we had a couple other shouts as well. we had Johnny on Twitter said to us Celtic 5, Partizan Belgrade 4, which seemed like a well game. We were just talking about that in the office, that game as well.
Yeah, well, it looked like we might have been getting Partizan in the draw, so we're all thinking Darius Jakinovski, but not to be, obviously.
I know, quite a strange one when you look back on that, because it was such an entertaining game from everything that I've seen of it, but we didn't actually manage to progress through.
No,
as well.
I think we lost over in Belgrade. It might have been 1-0. Somebody out there will know if I'm wrong. But then what a game here, and Jakinovski scores 4, I believe. Mm-hmm. So yeah, wonderful game. It would have been amazing to be in the jungle that night, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And another one as well, Andy Duffy saying against Rangers in 2008, which was Jan Vennegoor Hesselink's last minute winner here, which is a game I remember well, which was some. I think we spoke about that a couple of weeks ago as well. That was a game, played Rangers back to back, had to win both games to win the title. We done it the year that Tommy Burns sadly passed away as well, which was really special for the club. So thank you very much for sending in all your responses. Now for next week's discussion point, I was thinking, we've got the cup final to look forward to on Sunday, so I thought it might be a good idea to see about what your favourite League Cup final memories would be. So make sure you send yours in. I don't know, Daylin, have you got a favourite League Cup final memory?
You take the years out that you've been working here. As a supporter, I remember I went along, 17 years old, went along to the 2009 League Cup final. Is that yours as well? Yeah. No, great minds. And it wasn't even a great game, really. It was, but obviously you played Rangers in the final, and I always remember, it wasn't, as I said, it wasn't a great game, but Darren O'Dea scores the header just almost right after the restart. And I think I've even said to him since, like, why could you have not done that before? Save us a half hour, but it is what it is. And then Aidan McGeady sealed it with the penalty. That was a great day. I
feel like his penalty always gets overlooked a little bit in that game. It's always Darren's, but we can give him that.
It's a great delivery from Nakamura though, for Darren's header. Wonderful left foot.
Brilliant day out. So hopefully another brilliant day on Sunday as well. Now time to get to our second interview in this week's podcast. I sat down with Bosun Lawal for the magazine, which you can read the full interview again in this year's edition, who unfortunately is out injured at the moment, but he told me all about how he's enjoying his first 6 months in Glasgow. And for anyone making the move, whether it's yourself or any other player, if it's for the B team or for the first team, moving to a new place in Glasgow, that will obviously come with its own difficulties. How have you found adjusting to life in Glasgow?
It's obviously difficult moving from place to place. So you just have to be myself, and just obviously when you have the right people around you, like I've got my right mates around me, like Toby, like Ben. They made it really easy for me. We got on well, and we just kind of do things together and just, just be free around each other. So it makes things easier for me as well, personally. Have you got any family over with you at the moment? No, I haven't got any family over right now. They'll be coming over soon, but not right now. So what does a day off look like then? You're saying you're quite close with Toby. Are you hanging out with a lot of those guys? They come around to our flat. Toby, obviously me and Toby and Ben live together. So the rest of the boys just come over sometimes. We just chill. We go out, do stuff, get food. Really, just chill. You know what I mean? Nothing too much. Because a lot of professional players say when they look back, this period in the youth squad is always their favourite time in their career, and it's where they had the most fun. How is the environment at the moment with the group, and is that something you're really enjoying? Yeah. We're speaking about the other day that later in our careers, we look back at this and we'll be like, yeah, I really enjoyed the change room and being around each other, because it's just good vibes, it's just good banter, and everyone just gets on well. It's just all jokes and stuff. But when we take it serious, we take it serious. But yeah, we're all enjoying it. It's a good time in my career. And how have you found being part of the B team? Things have been going quite well for you this season, and also what are your expectations for the rest of the season? Teams with B team are going really well, going better than I thought it would be when I first came. Kind of just hit the ground running, and things been going well for me personally. But my expectations is to hopefully make my debut with the first team, get a chance, and kind of really grab some moment and then just show people what I'm capable of doing. and I'm capable of playing at a high level, really.
Have you had much exposure to the first team as of yet?
Yeah, I've trained with the first team a couple of times, and yeah, it's good levels, good people. We all get on well to each other.
How is that experience when you're getting called up to train with the first team squad? I can imagine there must be some butterflies in the stomach, or are you quite calm in that moment?
At first, I was a bit nervous, but then when you get up there and you just start training, it's just really calm, and everyone's just friendly, and they just make you feel welcome. So now it's just when I get called up, I'm just calm about it, and I just need to impress and just enjoy myself, really.
What have you noticed as the differences when you're making that step up into the first team training environment?
The main point of it is just the intensity. Everyone's always at it. There's no one slacking. And when someone's slacking, they don't shy away from telling them that they're slacking. So they really get onto each other and just encourage each other, really, and get the best out of each other.
So, as you said, your individual aim is to try and make that debut in the first team. Is that something you're hoping you can achieve this season?
Ideally, yeah, I'd hopefully want to achieve it this season, but it's just not really my plan. So the manager calls upon me, I'll be ready. But yeah, I just have to be ready and just wait for the call, really.
There we go. That was the interview with Bosun there, and hopefully we can see him back out on the pitch very soon and he recovers well from that injury. And again, just make sure you get yourself a copy of this year's magazine. There's tons of great competitions as well, and as I said, with less than 2 weeks to go until Christmas time is running out, to make sure you get it for your loved ones this year. Right, finally, Daylin, again, just another little look ahead to the week. Again, as we said, we've got Ross County, we've got Hibs as well. Another thing about the Cup final we've not mentioned is the fact that it's the Bertie Auld Cup final, isn't it? Obviously so synonymous with Celtic. He has history with Hibs as well, managing that club, so that'll be a really sort of fitting occasion, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, in the semi-final, the Celtic players were wearing number 10 in his honour. Beat St Johnstone 1-0, which I believe in 1969, the League Cup final. It was 1-0 against St Johnstone, and Bertie got the goal. So, though Forrest, you know, a homegrown boy, Celtic, he got the goal. It was a bit of a symbolic a goal, you know, to get that 1-0 and get through to the final. Yep, but he does, as you say, have history with Hibs, former manager, of course. So I'm pretty sure in his words, and he's a great man. You know, hopefully Celtic go out and win the cup, and most of all, entertain. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he'll be looking down, and he'll be looking forward to that one, and definitely, as you said, hopefully get an entertaining game of football, no matter what as well. I'm sure the way we're playing at the minute, there's no doubt it will be entertaining, and Bertie will, wherever he is, he'll enjoy Celtic's performance hopefully on the day. Yeah, brilliant. And then after that as well, I mean, the games are still rolling around. I mean, I think we've still got another 4 or 5 games after that as well. I think we don't have a home game now till after Christmas. So it's going to be St Mirren, St Johnstone. You've got the Hibs Cup final as well, and then obviously before the winter break, you've got Rangers here at Celtic Park. So it's tough, you know, and you get to the 2nd of January, you get through the game, and you're almost wanting a breather, and it comes at the right time. But so many games, so many points to be won, and hopefully, you know, Celtic just keep on winning, and we'll see where we are. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, a lot to look forward to. The team are doing brilliant on the park at this moment in time, so hopefully this time next week we've got a win against Ross County to look back on, and we've also got a cup win as well. But Daylin, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you all for joining us as well. Next week will be the last edition of the Celtic View podcast, so make sure you join us for that. But for now, thank you very much. Cheers.